thing. Yeah, and I don't even know if I will run Bonds of Quicksilver. It's not that great. They have to attack you, basically, to make it good. Nothing here. None of these cards are good. Memnite. Make that Forge the Kuldalthi Rebirth deck a little bit worse, but I think the steady progress. I mean, not really too many 3-drops. Here's the Rebirth, so we'll go ahead and take that just to make that deck worse. One of the many cards I've tried with the Renegade Leader, Copperhorn Scout. Okay, that's awesome. I'm just going to keep popping up airs if that's okay with you guys. Copperhorn Scout works with the Renegade Leader, so I'll take that, and I'd rather have them sacking permanents than not. And, yep, and take a horrible Surlet, which is not very good. This is pretty much shaping up the way I thought that I would like it to go. So, Mimic Vat's a pretty good card, right? Oh man, I wish it was red. I don't know. Would you take an Arc Trail over a Mimic Vat? Because I think I would. Other than that, there's another Invisimancer Necrogen Sensor again, but I'm not doing any shenanigans with it. It's really only good if you're running like Glimmerpoint Stag and things of that nature. Glint Hawk is also pretty good with it. Crunch Steed's okay. He's not great. This Carapace Forger is actually pretty nice if you build around him, or if you just kind of luck out and end up him working out. When he does work, he's just fantastic. But again, you have to be kind of heavy on the Metalcraft, so. Tangle Angler, wowee. That is, I wish I was green. That's okay, we're already committed. On Color Mirror here, another Disperse. Wow, On Color Mirror versus Disperse here. Well, okay, just gonna minimize everything for you. So there was my Facebook, so if you wanna be my friend on Facebook, feel free to. Fume Spitter, again, but I think Leaden Mirror over Fume Spitter is probably a nice pick, but Disperse over Leaden Mirror. Is that doable? I think it is. No, you know what? I think because of the double blacks that I am gonna just take the Leaden Mirror here. And open nothing. There's a Trinket Mage. What does Trinket Mage get me? Horizon Spellbomb, and that is it. There are 2 off-color mirrors in this pack. Yeah, I think that taking the off-color mirror is not a huge disaster. There's another Horizon Spellbomb, and but I've been seeing a lot of white cards get past me, so hating on white a little bit, not too bad. Or possibly as a splash color, because there's a Revoke Existence in this pack. There is a Contagious Name, however, and I'm not really heavy on the 3-drops. Yeah, man, the white deck's getting pretty good. Kind of wish I ended up white, but that's okay. We'll take the Contagious Name. Blackkeep Golem, another on-color mirror. I think that I like the on-color mirror because we have a ton of 4-drops. Probably not going to run Distant Memories at this point. But you know, I have to get to deck building to make that final decision. There's a Flight Spellbomb, which is not super in my deck. I think I would prefer to take a creature here, and I think that creature would be this Blackleaf Goblin. I am, like I said, heavy on the 4-drops. Yeah, you know, I think I am heavy to the point where Leaden Mirror is just worth taking over everything else in this pack. Psychic Miasma, easy pick here. Just kidding. Tumble Magnet. Tumble Magnet's good. Rustic. Ooh, is Rustic better than Tumble Magnet? That is a tough choice. I do feel for the cause, so I can refill my Tumble Magnet. Skin Renderer can get a dude, and then Tumble Magnet again. Steady Progress hits Tumble Magnet. Rustic. You know, I think I am just going to drop the Tumble Magnet. He defeats the Rusted Slasher. There's a Tainted Strike here, but I think a Corpse Cur actually is going to be the best pick for me, seeing as how I do have a few Infectors, and I think that infecting out my opponent is not outside the realm of possibilities. Vedalken Sedgearch, sorry there, I'm retarded, is a good card, and I like it a lot. And I do have a lot of artifacts at this point. I'm getting to the point where he would not be terrible. Yeah, so I think actually, yeah, I am going to probably just stick to my guns here and go with my first intuition, which is Corpse Cart. Just recurring creatures is so powerful. And go ahead and get past another Setark, sorry. Yeah, so that's decent. Nothing here, nothing playable for me. So we'll just make red a little bit worse. I do really like Volshock, Heartstoker. He's really cool. All the time, you can do all kinds of shenanigans with him. Disperse did table. How about that? I was planning that all along. Plated Sea Strider is awful and will not make my deck, but neither will any of these cards. I do have a couple flyers, so maybe taking the Wing Puncture isn't a bad idea. And by a couple, I mean 2. Yeah, I think Plated Sea Strider is not going to make my deck, and neither is any of those cards. Turn Aside's a decent sideboard card. Assault Strobe is crap, and Waitson's Passage. Alright, cool. Well, this deck is kind of a mess, and didn't really pick up anything that is gonna just... I mean, there's no Skittles the Blight Dragon in this deck. That's kind of important, so I will be kind of grinding out my opponent here. But, you know, I have a pretty reasonable amount of stuff to play, so I don't think this is going to be terrible. I have 34 playables here, but obviously not everything's getting... I'll have to make some hard choices, it looks like. I don't know if Mirrorsire's going to be making it, so let's just take a look here and see what I got. I'm going to sort everything into the absolutely not going to play pile, which goes right there. Maybe going to play pile, and the play pile, which is over here. I am not going to run the other Gold Mirror, but I am going to run the 2 Leaden. I'm going to think about these Mirrorsires. Verdant Claw, yeah, Mimic Vat, sounds good. Like all of these cards so far. I'm going to consider the Razorfield Rhino. He's only a 6/6 or 6, so, I mean, yeah, he's a dinosaur, but we'll see. Thunderbird, yes. Disperse, no on the Plated Sea Strider. I'm going to say maybe on that. Maybe on that as well. Yes on that. Maybe on that. Okay, so that is 24 cards with many cards in my maybe pile. So I'll just go through here and consider each card. Setark is jumping into my deck, but is not going to make the cut. And that is because I only have 9 artifacts. The Mirrorsires, let's see, how many creatures do I have? I only have 15. And pretty heavy on the 2-drops. And I think that I would rather 2-drop any of these cards rather than a Mirrorsire and fuel my Rusted Slasher. Maybe they come in during a sideboard if somebody's running heavy removal, or if, like I said, you know, regeneration is not the, you know, it's 50-50, you know, are they infect? And I guess the odds are more about 25% chance, a little bit better than 25% chance that regeneration is going to literally do nothing in your matchup because they are going to be infect. And that's assuming that 2.5 people, and I am obviously the half person, are going to be running infect. Razorfield Rhino, again, I don't think there's enough artifacts in my deck to support him. And, you know, he's only a 6/6, so I don't know how many games I'll be winning just swinging with a 6/6. Probably not a lot. Distant Memories, man, I really would like to put this card in my deck because it is so underrated. People give it such a bad rap, but really if you play it, you give it a try out, and people are just not really sure how to play or what to do against that card because, okay, you show them a black land and you only have 1 black land on the field. Do they let you take that black land? Probably, rather than let you draw 3 cards. But, you know, I've had instances where that 1 land sets up a scenario where I am just killing you, you know, just straight death on the board. And then again, you can distant memories and get necrotic, or get get somebody like Moriark replica. And well, okay, yeah, probably are gonna let me get that guy. Well, how about Rusted Slasher? Well, it depends on board position, of course. And if they dump it into my graveyard, what about then I followed up with a Necrotic Ooze or something like that. This could be pretty interesting. So let's see how many removal I got here. One. I'll count you as removal. Sort of removal. Not really. I count that as removal. These I definitely count as removal. He's removal. Not really. I think if there's a cut to be made here, it's definitely Looming Grid Drake. Going through these dudes. You know, I'm looking at Bonds of Quicksilver here, and it is looking a lot more appetizing than Looming Grid Drake. This I count as removal, and this I count as removal, but I do have Mimic Vat, and it's not technically, none of these cards except for these three will turn on my Mimic Vat. But then again, I can just throw my guys under the bus and get Mimic Vat online. There's just been so many times where Mimic Vat has been so awesome, and if anything, it just creates an infinite blocker for 3 mana, which is pretty sweet indeed. It does get crushed, it does get revoked, it does get Divine Offering, but maybe that'll let Looming Grid Gargoyle and do his business on your face. This is pretty bomb, though. I think that if I'm going to win any games, it's going to be on the backs of these two cards. So we'll see here. I'm at 24, but I do have 2 mirrors. I'm not a big fan of doing 16 land, and especially with this many double blue, triple blue, double black. I don't think that it's doable, so I think I am going to have to cut a card here. And of course, looking right at Looming Grid Drake, he is decent, he's a flyer, he does nothing when he comes into play. He's 4 mana for a 2/2, so I think that's fine. I don't think that many games are going to be won by Looming Grid Drake here. I don't know, probably more than I'm assuming. So just give the old-fashioned ad lane. 9/8. Take a look here. I kind of want to hit black earlier than I want to hit blue. Oh, I guess I do have 2 lead mirrors, so I think this is fine. I think this is okay. I think either way, I think hitting the late 3 blue is pretty important. So yeah, I'm gonna reluctantly enter that. How about some stats? I've never used this feature. 11/11, pretty even. Ugly mana curve. That's fine. It's not terrible, but you know, I've seen better. You know, pretty good. So in my opening hand, there's a pretty good chance of having at least 1 creature, so that's good. I wish that number was a little bit higher, but I mean, I could pop back in Looming Grid Drake, hope to get that percent up a little bit better. What is this? Format. I cannot play this in any format. That is too bad. I'm just wasting your time and my time right here. I won't make you suffer through all this, and I'm going to go ahead and click submit, and I'll let you know when it's round 1.